Good afternoon, everyone, and thank you for being here. I'm Mr. Arthur. I am the principal, and I'm so excited to be a part of the Tuckahoe community. We have a program that we've put together for you. Hopefully some information is going to be exciting and enlightening. But before going any further, I want to bring up our leader, our superintendent of schools, Dr. Goodman.
Good afternoon, everybody. A little louder. Good afternoon. Oh, that's like ninth graders. There you go. So as the superintendent of this amazing school district, it's my privilege to welcome all the incoming ninth graders to our high school. You have already proven yourself successful navigating the middle school, and now you are ready to take on the challenge of high school. I want to let you know a little secret. So how many of you are nervous? A little nervous? Okay, good, because you really don't need to be as nervous as most middle schoolers are, because you are lucky enough to be in this small, supportive district. And you've already been in this building, right? So you know a lot of the familiar faces, and you know that we're here to support you. First of all, but there is a new, absolutely great addition to our staff. And I want to tell you that I have complete faith, and I'm very excited to introduce Dr. Rodney Arthur. I always think he's a doctor, because he's so smart. But he's our new principal, but he's not just a principal, he's a true advocate for children. And he will be there for your kids, he will be there for our parents, and he's there for our teachers and staff. As you enter high school, you know there are plenty of activities in our school district. There's a lot to offer you, and I'm asking you, if you've already been involved, to continue your involvement, but also look at the clubs and look at the sports and all the activities and try to do something different. These are the years when you can really develop your skills and yourself. And maybe you think you're not good at something, give it a try. And if you are good at it, try harder, because that's all what life is about. Just try. It's about a growth mindset. So I just want to let you know that the administrative team, myself, of course, and the teachers and staff are here for all of you. We are here to support you at all times, and we know that you are going to make a great, great 4 years here. And parents, those of you who are here, believe me, it will go by like a flash. And those of you who've had kids who have gone to college, you know, like once they step into the high school, they're on their way. So continue to support them and know that we will also be the wings beneath their wings. We are very proud of this class. Now they were great 8th graders, but now welcome to Tuckahoe High School. We are here for you. We know it's going to be a great time, and we can't wait to see you soar. Thank you.
So before I introduce the rest of my staff that's here, we have another rendition, and Mr. DeChateau and our string program, please take it away. Excellent job. Thank you for your performance. Our strings program, let's give it up for them again, led by Mr. Vichak Cho. Thank you. So welcome, class of 2027. The transition from middle school to high school is significant. One of the key individuals that will play an essential role as you move forward through your 4 years here are your school counselors. So I just want to quickly bring up our two school counselors, Mr. Treglia and Ms. Perello, just to quickly do an introduction, and I'll continue with introducing everyone else that's here. Let's give them a hand, please.
Hi, everyone. I'm Mrs. Perillo. This is Mr. Treglia. We just wanted to briefly introduce ourselves. We see some familiar faces. We know some of you have older siblings who we've had. But one of the biggest things we wanted to share with you today is the split in the alphabet. So anybody with the last name A through J will be on my caseload, and anybody with K through Z will be on Mr. Treglia's caseload. Our office is right across from the middle school guidance office, which you should be familiar with. Ms. Nicoletos is our secretary. If we are not in our offices, she is a big help or can help find us. Our door is always, always open. So if there's any issues regarding classes or teachers or scheduling, or you want to talk for a minute, or you're a little nervous, we are here to help support you. So we love to see you. You can stop by and say hi and just let us know how your transition's going as well. Go ahead.
Yeah. I just want to welcome everyone to the first day of 9th grade. And remember, the school counselor is here to support you academically, socially, emotionally. 9th grade grades count, and we're here to start that process from day one with you, to work with you on your schedule, to make you feel comfortable in the building, and to outreach to you to see how everything's going on a day-by-day basis. Ms. Perillo and our doors are always open for you and your family. Please come in and say hello. We'll be going to contact you and seeing how things are going, and also to get involved in some clubs and activities, to feel comfortable in what the high school has to offer, and for you to make friends, connect, and be part of our high school from day one.
And one last thing. So we start off the school year working closely and having meetings with our seniors regarding the college process. And once that's complete, then we'll have individual meetings with all of the 9th graders and their families, okay? And that's when we really get to know you, and we will talk about what it looks like the next 4 years of high school and what you could be doing now to set yourself up so that you have the most options available to you when you're graduating. So any questions, please reach out. All of our information is on the high school website. We have a specific guidance page that has a ton of information, so we'd love you to check that out as well. So welcome, and we're excited to see you guys and see you all in the hallway now. So thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Thank you so much. Just moving right along, here's our agenda for today. So shortly I'm going to introduce my administrative team, as well as Dr. Keogh, who is the Director of Curriculum Instruction and Technology. You will also hear from him shortly. Then we have a student panel. We have a student panel made up of students who sat where you sat either last year or a few years ago. We thought it was very important for you to hear from students, not just from the adults, right? We have questions that we've put together that we thought that students may want to ask or parents may want to ask, so we're going to present those questions. For any family that is new to the building, right, we have a tour set up so we can get you around the building so you can see some of the key locations, because again, we know there's some families that are new. I believe most of you or some of you took advantage of the opportunity to come in yesterday to set up your lockers, right? We did include the 9th, it's today. Today, that was the upper class. So today, you'll be able to set up your lockers, so hopefully you did get that information. So just moving on a little bit with the program. So Dr. Keogh, as I indicated, if you don't mind, Dr. Keogh, just raising your hand. He's the Director of Curriculum and Instruction and Technology, plays a critical role in the operations of our school in terms of what you're learning in the classroom, how you're learning that information, right? He has a direct supervision over all curriculum and instruction initiatives. And again, you'll hear from him shortly. To my left, right, we have Mr. DeBellis, who's one of our assistant principals, and you'll hear from him shortly as well. Let's give it up for Mr. DeBellis and Dr. Keogh. Mr. DeBellis has various responsibilities, so you are going to get to know him. He's certainly in charge of all of our testing. So as you know, entering the 9th grade, Regents exams are going to be part of that experience. So you're going to interface with him in different situations, all right? Moving on, next to Dr. Keo, we have Mr. Calusano, who is also not only assistant principal, but he's also the athletic director. Many of you know him if you play sports, or you may have known him just from the community. So you'll also hear from him very shortly. So, continuing, Mr. Sullivan is in the back. He's our psychologist. He's the psychologist supporting students at the middle school and at the high school, and you've already met our school counselors. Ms. Pinto, who many of you may know, she's not here right now, but she's the principal's secretary, and she's in the main office, and we just hired a new secretary, Ms. Tierney, who is joining us, just started a couple of months ago. For any family or any student who needs to see the nurse, she's in the building, Ms. Poulos, she's in the building, so if you do need to see her, she's here until 1:30. So before I go into this quote, let me just share a little bit about my background. You know, met with the middle schoolers doing their orientation today around 9 o'clock. Education is something that has saved my life. Now, some of you may have come to the meet and greet. You may have heard me speak a little bit, so I apologize if you heard this message already. I am someone who's passionately committed to helping children achieve academic excellence. We are a school district that promotes sports. Sports are important. Sports save money as well. But academics are the key, and I'll share this with you. In high school, attended school in Brooklyn. I went to attended Boys and Girls High School. I was on probably to get a scholarship to play football. I got to Penn State football camps. Was going to be recruited. Was being recruited to play strong safety. My senior year, I was in a car accident where someone ran a red light and hit my car, my mother's car, fractured my skull, injured my back, scholarship. But what I had an opportunity for back home was my commitment to academic excellence. So for many of you who do play sports, or maybe you don't, I want you to think about if you did not play sport, where would you be? You have to make academics your central focus. The district has a model preparing students for excellence. Not just academic excellence, but excellence in general. I want you to think about what that means to you. Preparing yourself for academic excellence. That is the charge of every single individual in this school district. Doesn't matter if they work in food services, if they're a safety school officer, if they're a teacher, teaching assistant, secretary, administrator, superintendent, it doesn't matter. We all have the responsibility of preparing you for academic excellence. We do it in partnership with your parents. I shared with the last group, I was not born here, I was born in England. I spent my formative years being raised in the Caribbean. I came here in 1979. It was very difficult. Very difficult. I experienced bullying. I did. I know what it's like. It was not an easy situation. I became the first person in my family to attend college. No one in my family went to college before. No one could explain to me what that experience was going to be like. But through hard work, the dedication of teachers, principals, who wrapped their arms around me, that got me to identify strengths that I didn't know that I had, to encourage me, motivate me, help me see things that I could not see, allowed me to be here today. So I say to you, committing yourself to academic excellence goes a long way. I'm a father, I have 4 children. My youngest, Marcus, my only son, he's entering the 10th grade. My 2 daughters, or middle daughters, who are still in school. Camila is a young lady who's just accepted to George Washington University. The pandemic, she had a very difficult time. Dealt with some mental health issues. As a result, she's taking a gap year, right, to get herself well, so that she can be her best self. My middle daughter, she attends University of Miami. She goes into her second year. My oldest daughter, right, she's graduated from school and she's working. I share that with you so you can understand that I'm a father first. Before I'm even a principal, I'm a father first. You are my children. You're our children. Your parents can trust in us to take care of you, keeping you safe, ensuring that you are prepared, ensuring that your mental health is taken care of socially. It's an awesome responsibility that we all take seriously. And I know that just from being a parent. I came to Tahoe for a specific purpose, to be a part of a caring community, a small community that prides itself on academic excellence, getting to support students and families, taking pride in what we do. A place, a school district, where I can get to know students, their families. My experience has been primarily in large schools. The last school I worked at had 1,800 students. Previous to that was 1,200. Previous to that was 1,200. But I've also had the opportunity of having my children attend small schools. So I know what that feeling is like. When teachers, when safety officers know your children on a first-name basis. It's important. Environment matters. It really does. So that brought me here to be a part of a community that really wraps its arms around our scholars. So that's why I'm here. And I'm committed to helping to build and support the various initiatives that are put into play and adding value wherever I can to help our scholars achieve all possibilities. I have the opportunity to run an IB high school, where my students at an IB high school, Union University, they were getting into. To be a part of an IB experience was a very challenging one. It's not made for every student. But that experience, working with so many bright minds, was a real fulfilling one. And my goal is to work with the Board of Education, work with superintendent, work with central office, to do things to expand opportunities for each and every one, because it matters. I know it firsthand as a parent, and I've been in education for 30 years. So environment matters, what you get exposed to, it matters. So as I transition, I want you to think about this quote. It's a quote that's near and dear to my heart. I want you to think about this quote. I want you to think about that. Of ninth graders, I'm going to challenge you each and every day to think about what are you doing now to prepare yourself for the future where you would turn around and thank yourself. And it's not just about academics. You need to know what your strengths are, what I call superpowers. You need to know what your Achilles heels are, things that you still need to work on, and work on them passionately, because it will define who you are. So we want to share with you just a few slides. Here we have Yuri and we have Sophia, a valedictorian, salutatorian, who've done extremely well. Many of you may have known them when you were in the middle school. Two students that really committed themselves to academic excellence and were well-rounded, right? They achieved the highest grade point average of all students, making them stand above everyone else. But I want you to think about this quote again. Think about what they must have done from their freshman year, which you have the opportunity of doing now, by setting a solid foundation from day one, before classes even begin. Do something today that your future self will thank you for. Here's a picture of our graduating class. Our graduates are going on to some of the most elite universities, from Princeton, Johns Hopkins University. Do something today that your future self will thank you for. Here are some of the universities and schools our students will be attending. Please note in your package, and I will go into this in a second, you have a copy of this full presentation in your package. Academics at TPS, all right? Excuse me. One of the things we wanted to do was share with you a little bit about data, right? One of the things that we know is extremely important is attendance. Understand the importance of attendance. Parents, I'm not sure if you're aware of this. Even if you send in a note, doctor's note, New York State does not excuse that attendance. Does not. So we want parents and students to understand, listen, things are going to happen. We have a doctor's appointment, we're not feeling well, but please understand the importance of attending school, especially at the high school level where most of your work is cumulative. It builds. So a day absent can impact, right? So just keep in mind. So 95% of our students in the 9th grade, right, did very well with their attendance. 100% of last year's 9th grade took at least one Regents exam. And Tuckahoe was named a school of distinction by the NYSPH SAA for the 22-23 school year. Only 6 schools in New York State received that designation, and we're one of them. So, 9th grade. Here are the offerings and what's required. You're required to take either English 9 or English 9 honors, Global 9 or Global 9 honors, right? Biology, which we also call living environment, algebra, geometry regions, application geometry, right? These are required courses that you must take, all right? The school counselors, in your folder, you should also have your schedule, and now we're going to get to a situation, not even a situation, email went out yesterday to students informing them of a process, and I want to touch on that a little bit, and I'll do that shortly. Elective courses, as you can see, Italian, Spanish, studio arts, performing arts, band, strings, chorus, media productions, and techniques, marching band. So those are our electives. As you move further on into your grades, they become additional offerings. So THS recently implemented courses. We've added an additional AP class for 9th graders. There is a criteria that was established for that class. That was AP Environmental. But here are some of our courses. Now, some of the AP courses are available to students in the 10th, 11th grade, and certainly some students take AP courses in their senior year. And again, you have all this information in their package. There's a slide presentation in there. So, additional advanced placement courses. So we want to make sure you know what's available to you. For those who may not be aware, advanced placement courses are college classes. You have to take an assessment at the end of the year, and depending on what university you apply to, you might be able to receive credit. So there's some students that have graduated from our school, who may have left here with 15, 20, 21 AP credits. You have to take an assessment. If you score 3 or higher, most universities, especially state schools, would give you college credit for that. Why does that matter? It matters significantly. If you take Binghamton University as an example, Binghamton, the tuition is $28,000, right, for the year. So you take about 15 credits for the fall and 15 credits in the spring, with a combination of 30 credits. If you leave here with 30 college credits, your entire freshman year at Binghamton or university is taken care of. $28,000. So advanced placement courses, they prepare you, they give you the exposure to the rigor because they are college courses, but they also help you in terms of accelerating your college process. So we want to also just share with you just some fun things that our students do directly connected with extending learning outside the classroom. So here's our AP Spanish trip, right, where they were involved in helping out, right, Hope of Food Kitchen. Our entrepreneur class. 9th grade, here are the teachers that work, who support students in the 9th grade. Not going to go through the teacher's name, but we want to make sure that you know who the 9th grade teachers are. Some names might look familiar to you because some teachers do share responsibilities between the middle school and the high school. We also want to share with you an example of a schedule. Now, most of you attended our school in the middle school, and if there anyone that's new to our school, do you mind just raising your hand? All right, Sophia, I know you're new. Anyone else that's new? Okay, I see a few hands goes up. So in our school, we follow a 6-day cycle. What that simply means, your core academic classes, which again, global, English regions, your English class, English 9, your biology course, those are your core academic classes. Those courses you will have every day. So it doesn't matter what day in the cycle it is, you will have those classes every day. What may be different, and I'm going to show you an example on the schedule. If you look at the lab, which is period, if you look at the biology lab class, you can see it's period 4, days 1 and days 3. And that's matched to, or opposite of, physical education, which is day 2, day 4, and day 6. All right? So this student has not been scheduled yet for a study hall, but on a day 5, that student can potentially have a study hall completing the 6-day cycle. So I just want to make sure you're able to read the schedule. So as you can see, English 1 through 6, Spanish 1 through 6, biology 1 through 6, algebra 1 through 6, lunch, which is again 6th period, okay, global, and this student has studio arts 1 through 6. So we've always had a process in our school where students come in, either during the first week of school, sometimes in the summer, sometimes parents reach out to school counselors, wanting to make a change to a child's schedule, right? And, we accommodate as best as we can. There's some factors that come into play that sometimes students or parents may not consider. Class sizes, we need to try to keep them as balanced as possible. Certain courses, we can only have a certain amount of students in a course, like lab courses. So sometimes we're not able to accommodate certain requests. So one of the things we wanted to do was sort of streamline our process by sending out this form to students so we can also document some of the requests the students are making. So this form serves 2 purposes. If a student wants to add a course, or if a student wants to drop a course, this form should be completed. It can be emailed to your school counselor. It can be dropped off to the guidance office, and your school counselor will follow up with you to see if we can accommodate the request. Please note that not all requests we can accommodate for various reasons, and your school counselor will let you know that. We did put a date on the form that we're requesting that students drop off the form to guidance no later than September 22nd. Now, why is that important? Well, let me quickly touch on this. By September 22nd, we're close to the 4th week of school. Teachers have already introduced the curriculum. So we try to make sure that students are getting the curriculum so they're not playing catch up. So we put a date on that so we can try to move the process along. All right, so want to make sure that parents, you're aware of this. Students, you should have received it yesterday in an email. If you did not, we do have copies of the form in the guidance office. At this point, I'm going to bring up Mr. Colasano.
Good afternoon, everyone. So I'm going to take us through a little bit about our extracurricular offerings, some of our academic courses, and also athletics. So up on the board here, you can see our Tuckahoe High School musicians who are on display. This is a big point of pride in Tuckahoe. So in many school districts where, but due to budgetary reasons, programs get cut, typically they look at art and music first. Here in Tuckahoe, we've done the exact opposite, and our art and music programs are thriving here in Tuckahoe. The participation rates are way up as well. So as many of you know, Tuckahoe has found a way to keep getting better and better in our musical and art programs. So up on the board, you can see examples of our concerts. Each of our chorus, band, and our strings program offers 2 concerts per year, as well as numerous other opportunities throughout the community for our musicians to perform and show off their talents. This year, also, our strings program took a trip, so they took learning beyond the 4 walls of the classroom, and they took a trip to New York City to see Camelot, and you could see the great turnout and student interest in attending this event. Our artists. So I mentioned our wonderful art program that starts in the middle school and then extends up to our high school. So this past school year, in partnership with our wonderful PTA, we did bring back our THS TMS art show for the entire school community to see. It was on display in the library for about a week's time, and we do encourage you this year to come out and take a look at what our artists are doing in the classroom. So now we'll take a look at some of our extracurricular and athletic offerings here at Tuckahoe High School. So up on the board, you can see we offer about 30 clubs and extracurricular opportunities for our students to engage in. We truly encourage each and every student to take a look and find something that you can participate in throughout your high school experience. So we will have a club fair within the first 2 weeks of school where students can walk around, they can meet the club advisors, and they will see a Google Classroom code where they could sign up for a specific club or offering that we have. It's okay to join something, attend the first few days, and then decide you don't like it and decide to sign up for something different. That's okay. But we do want everybody participating in something, and we really encourage extracurricular participation as much as possible. Many of our clubs, some meet during lunch, some meet after school. For those that do meet after school, we do host late bus. So on Mondays, Tuesdays, and Thursdays, there's a late bus that you could come. You could sit in the library after your club ends, get some work done, and then the late bus comes typically around 3:40 or so, okay? Our spring musical. So this past year, we saw a performance of Beauty and the Beast, which actually received 5 Metro Award nominations this past school year. These nominations included Outstanding Performance in a Feature Role, Outstanding Comedic Performance, Outstanding Performance by a Child Performer, Outstanding Student Orchestra, and Outstanding Achievement in Lighting Design. So just because your child may not want to be in the front end of the acting piece, there's many, many, many opportunities for your child to engage in this wonderful program, and the performances get better and better each and every year. Our Habitat for Humanity is another point of pride within our extracurricular offerings. So this is by far our most popular club. We do have over 50 students year in and year out signed up to participate, and they participate in a variety of building projects and local cleanups throughout our community. High School Science Olympiad. So for those of you that participated in middle school, we will also offer a Science Olympiad in the high school, and it's a wonderful opportunity. Our high school students compete in the Lower Hudson Valley Division Tournament, and this year our team did receive 6 individual medals in the areas of anatomy and physiology, cell biology, and chemistry lab. Our winter snowball dance. So for those of you that were in middle school, you didn't get to experience this last year. But we did bring back our high school dance this year, so we held it in the winter months, and it was wonderfully attended. One of the things that was great about this was that it grew, the interest grew organically through our government organization, our student GO, and we held the event in our gym, and it was just, as you could see, the smiles around everyone's faces, and it was a really wonderful opportunity for our underclassmen to, see one another and have a good time. Our Snow Sports Club was also brought back this school year, so we saw the return of this club, where the club went on 2 different trips to Catamount Mountain, where they engaged in day trips filled with skiing and snowboarding with friends. This is not something that you see at many high schools, so it's something that I would really encourage you to take a look at if, a snow sport is something that you are interested in. Our Tuckahoe Fitness Program. So this is also something that we've been developing over time and cultivating interest in. So our students do refer to it as TuckFit. And basically it's a fitness center initiative aligned with our health and wellness initiatives, and it is a huge success. So our fitness center is open 5 days per week after school from 2:45 to 4:15, and that's for any student that wants to participate, okay? We have 2 coaches, so Mr. Pappas and Ms. Kalasako are 2 fitness coaches, so they're up in the fitness center daily. So if it's something that you'd like to do, get a little exercise in after school hours, you're more than welcome to sign up and come to attend. Now for our athletic program. So our athletic program offers 21 different sports with over 40 different individual teams. For a small school, I will say, and I attend the monthly athletic director meetings, we have one of the most tradition-rich and robust athletic programs, I think, of any school out there, okay? As you can see up on the board, we've expanded offerings throughout the years, and we've taken a keen interest in our merge programs. We've been able to expand offerings through mergers with other local districts. So as you can see on the board, any with the asterisks is a merge program, and that's something that you could reach out to me, and I would love to share with some more information with you. Our athletic accomplishments this year were very robust. So as you could see up on the board, we had numerous section champions, regional champions, and then even our baseball team was a state finalist this year. We had 7 student athletes that signed letters of intent to continue their careers playing in college. And we were also, as Mr. Arthur mentioned earlier, named a School of Distinction for the first time in school history. And as Mr. Arthur mentioned, that's given out by the New York State Public High School Athletic Association, and only 6 schools in the entire state of New York received that honor, so we are very proud of that accomplishment. You could see here are some of our championship teams from our cross-country team, our cheerleading team, girls basketball, baseball, football, and our girls softball team. Lastly, I do want to touch on homecoming, and I hope everyone marks their calendars. So we expanded homecoming this year to include a variety of different events, but one of the main events that we held was a K-12 community event in the parking lot here. It was kind of a carnival atmosphere, and it gave an opportunity for our organizations to fundraise and bring the community together. So this year, our homecoming is scheduled for October 5th, 6th, and 7th, so that's a Thursday, Friday, Saturday. Information is up on our website, and I know I'll be blasting it out as well as in Dr. Goodman's weekly communications as well. I'd love for everyone to mark their calendars and please come out and support not only our teams, but also our K-12 community and celebrate. Okay, at this time, I'll turn it over to Mr. DeBellis to review expectations and building procedures. Thank you.
Good afternoon. Thank you for coming. Hope everyone had a great summer. Just want to go through some things. Again, I know a large majority of you were students here at the middle school, so some of the procedures are the same. Some are a little bit different. As you're getting a little bit older now, you're given a little bit more independence, a little bit more freedom, but at the same time, there's more responsibility. So just go through a couple of things. Number one, arrival. If you're arriving on the bus, you'll come through the main entrance. In the years past for middle school, you would wait in the auditorium. Now you get shifted to the gym. Okay, so students, when you come in, you will go to the gym, you will stay there, and then we will dismiss you at about 7:35, 7:36. Gives you about 5 minutes to get to your locker before going to your first period class. If you're walking, obviously, or you're being dropped off, then you can come on Middle Road, okay? And then the same thing, you'll go up to the gym, and you will stay there, all right, before the class begins. Mr. Arthur had touched upon it, and I'll just reemphasize and I'll reiterate. Attendance is critical, okay? New York State looks at what's called chronic absenteeism, and it is something that the school is partly judged on, and that is 10%. So 180 school days in a year, if you are absent 18 days, regardless of the reason, doesn't matter what it is, valid, not valid, you are now marked on New York State as chronically absent. And that was one of the reasons that you'll see you might have received a letter from me, you might have received a phone call from me. Again, we're trying to ensure that students are here. It's also a skill that I'm sure every parent will tell you it's critical. When you have a job and you have commitments, it is important that you show up every single day, okay? The beginning of greatness is making sure that you are present. You have to be here in order to be able to achieve that, okay? So please, again, make sure if you are going to be absent, we ask that you please provide us with documentation. This is so that we can code it inside of our system, okay, inside of PowerSchool. Again, we send out an ineligibility list every day, and if you are absent for the day, okay, then you are not able to participate in any athletic event or any sports club or extracurricular activity, okay? So that's one of the reasons. Now, if there is an extenuating circumstance, that's something that we can address and that we can speak with Mr. Arthur about potentially an exemption. But again, that's why it's important to have documentation and to make sure you submit it. Lunch. Again, now you go to 6th period lunch versus 5th period lunch, so you will start out for the first 20 minutes at recess. Okay, we will allow the 10th, 11th, and 12th graders to go down to the cafeteria and eat first. You can go to the field, you can go to the library. Okay, we also allow the high school students to stay on the second floor. We have supervision there, we have adults there, but again, not in the stairwells, okay, not in certain areas, not by the weight room, okay? You have to be in the vision of an adult under supervision. But again, we try to give you a little bit more independence, a little bit more freedom. And again, the expectation is that you're responsible and you use it the right way, okay? So those are the areas. At about 12:20, 12:25, we will then rotate. Ninth graders will be able to go downstairs and eat in the cafeteria, okay? Behavior. We know obviously that there are always rules, right? There's rules when you're outside of school, there's rules inside of school. I think a lot of it just comes down to making good decisions, treating each other respectfully, okay? Using social media responsibly, okay? I'd say 80% of our issues stem from social media. Okay, something happens online, all of a sudden it comes into the school. There is what's called a nexus law. So if there is something that happens outside and it gets brought into the building, the school can get involved. Okay, so please use social media responsibly. I know a lot of you don't think about it. You think you're still young, and you are. But in another couple of years, when you're applying to colleges, they will look at your social media footprint. They want to know what type of a student they are admitting into their school, not only academically, but also as a person. What is your character? All of that is very, very important, and it will be judged and it will be viewed. Okay, so just again, try to get that into your head and think about that now, because it is important. Hallways, you only have 3 minutes in order to transition. We do have the restrooms locked during the transition time, so you'll go to your class. If you need to use a restroom, you'll ask your teacher. They'll allow you to go out 1 or 2 at a time, 1 boy, 1 girl typically. Okay, so again, we don't want you to spend too much time in the hallway socializing. I don't want you to be late to your classes. All right, so we'll keep moving that along as quickly as we can. Mr. C touched upon it. Extracurricular. It's tremendous in terms of the value of you as a person. It allows you to start figuring out what is it that you like. You might develop an interest in a career or a specific field that you didn't know was there, okay? And having the amount of available options is tremendous in a school of our size, okay? A lot of schools much bigger don't have the amount of options that you do. So try something, okay? If you're not sure, ask an adult what you think you might like, or talk to your family and see if there's something that you want to give it a shot. All right, like Mr. C said, you're not committed to it forever. And again, it's all things that you can start building your resume, okay, and for your college application. Think about it now, okay? Colleges see all of a sudden you jump in at the end of your junior year and you start doing things. They've been doing that a long time as well, okay? So they know, obviously. But if you're doing something consistently, that's one of the things college recruiters have told us, is that they're looking for that long term. Have you been volunteering and doing things like that for 4 years, or did you just start the last 3 months? Okay, so again, think about all of these pieces, because you can't go back and redo it. All right, this is the beginning of your high school journey, eventually leading you into either your college or career pathway, and all of it's important. Lockers, you will have time to set up your lockers. Okay, everyone should have received their locker assignment. If there is an issue with the locker, please let me know. Space is very tight on the high school. We have less lockers than we do for the middle school. Please do not switch lockers on your own. Like I said, if there's an issue, let me know. If we have to, we will try to make some sort of arrangement. Once you put your lock on there, we ask for you to please give us your combination, okay? And the reason why is that if you forget it, you can't get in. We don't want to have to cut that lock off. We want to be able to try to help you and open it up, okay? Please remember, the lockers belong to the school district. So at any point, if we need to, we can enter into that locker and we can go in there and take a look or get something if we needed to. All right, so keep it clean. Please don't leave food in there. All right, finding something in June, that's been sitting in there since September is always fun. It's always interesting. All right, but again, we want to try to keep it as clean as possible, so please be conscientious of that. Visitors. School has changed dramatically over the last 10, 15 years with regard to incidents that have happened inside, which has forced us to change and prepare students, faculty, staff, how to handle different emergencies, okay? And one of the security measures that have been put in place, not only here, but throughout the vast majority of schools in our country, is what's called a single point of entry. So there is only one door for visitors, for students to go in and come out of, okay? And that's obviously our main entrance. We have security monitors that are there when you come in, okay? If you have an appointment, we'll ask for an ID. We use what's called the Raptor system, okay, where it scans IDs and it will look for any type of alerts or notifications. So again, that's important, and that's part of our screening process to try to keep all of our students and staff safe. Okay? When you come in, you'll be given a pass. You'll wear that visitor's pass on your shirt or on your jacket. We ask that you keep that on until you leave, and once you are leaving, you will hand that back to the security monitor. This way we know that you are no longer in the building. Okay? It's a way for us to check and make sure that we don't have anyone in the event of an emergency, okay, or where they are, so that we can take steps that are necessary. All right? Early student sign out, same thing. We have that at the desk. So if you are coming to sign someone out, please let them know what grade. We will look up the schedule. We'll pull your child down. One thing that's very, very important, we deal with it almost every year, I'd say, is take a look at who you have listed as an emergency contact. Those are the only people that can pick up your child. Okay, so again, whoever you have down, maybe it's changed since last year, just take a look, revisit, and make sure the people you want to have access and be able to pick up your children are listed on that form. Okay, there are laws as per New York State. Again, we're dealing with minors, who we can release the children to. So we try to make sure that we are very, very strict about it. But again, if there are extenuating circumstances, please just let us know and we'll figure something out. But it's important that that information is current and up to date. Code of conduct, like I mentioned, our district has a code of conduct. It is available on the district website. We will meet with students over the course of the first 2 days, all grade levels, grades 6 through 12, and we'll go over the expectation. We'll talk about code of conduct, we'll look at different scenarios, talk about DASA, and look at some different things that students need to understand. Number one, what the expectation is, and then number two, you know, how do we move forward to make sure that we avoid and be proactive so that we don't have any issues, okay? Cell phones. We know cell phones are a part of everyday life, right? The adults sometimes are almost as guilty as the students, but that instructional time in the classroom is really important, okay? So that phone, the expectation is that the phone is away, okay? If you're in the hallway, same thing. You only have 3 minutes, so please don't worry about the phone as much as you're worrying about getting to your next class, okay? Uber Eats, all the different food delivery, that is not the priority when you are in 5th period worrying about placing your order, okay? Your priority is class. So, you know, I'm going to be honest because it's something that we've dealt with, and it's an evolution as we've moved through, right? But again, that time during lunch, that's your time, okay? When we're in class, that's instructional time. So let's please help support and make sure that those two are separate. Again, videos, you know, the social media, all of that is huge, and it's changing. So again, I just ask that you please be mindful and responsible with it, okay? So quick, helpful resource, taking a look at teacher, school counselor, assistant principal. These are some of the different functions or roles that each of us play throughout the school community. If you're not sure, again, you can always reach out, call, email, whatever's easier. I think if there's one skill that I would have to identify that we want students to really develop, it's that advocacy. Students need to learn to advocate for themselves. They need to learn to articulate. They need to express. So that's why we ask students to start with their teacher. If there is an issue or if there is some sort of conflict, and it's difficult to do, not only for students, but for adults sometimes, when you don't see eye to eye. If you want an adult to be there to help or assist, your guidance counselor, okay, Mr. Sullivan, our school psychologist, and the administrator, that is fine as well. But I think the more children start to learn to advocate for themselves and work with that teacher and adult, it's only going to serve them as they start to move forward in life. Again, extra help schedule. For students that need assistance or need some extra help or focus with the teacher, we will have a schedule out probably within the first couple weeks, usually by mid to late September. We will have late bus on Monday, Tuesday, and Thursday. That late bus stops about 3:45 it gets here, okay, and then it'll go through a number of stops. So if you need extra help, speak with your teachers. The one thing I will say, especially with our high school teachers, they are very accommodating. A lot of them will even meet with you during lunch, during the study hall if they're free. Again, learning that skill of advocating and asking for help or saying what it is that you need help with, it goes a long way, all right? But we will have an extra help schedule out for everybody so that they can attend extra help as needed. Health office. This is on the district as well as the school website. Ms. Poulios, who is our school nurse, if you have medication forms, there's medication that needs to be dispensed, whether it be a physical form, whatever medical issue or concern, you can reach out to her. She will help guide and direct you. If it's documentation, let's say there was an accident, your child is returning back with restrictions. That documentation needs to go to her. She will then complete a plan and make sure that all of us have it. But all of that has to start with her. And again, that documentation is really important so that we know exactly what limitations or restrictions are in place. Parent and student portal. Again, if you go to our parent resource tab on the high school website, this is the first one. It has step-by-step directions in case you have never used the portal. You can link multiple children under one account. Each parent can have access to have their own account, so they don't need to share. All of those directions are on there, but again, if you have questions, reach out to us, let us know. It's a great way to try to hold students accountable. You can see that transparency with assignments. The only thing I caution is that if a teacher lists an assignment inside of PowerSchool and the grade has not been entered in yet, it might appear as though the grade is lower than it actually is. So give it a day or two, reach out to the teacher, ask them first before we make the assumption, okay, because it just might need to be updated or it might need to roll over the next day so that that grade can be computed. But again, you can see, are assignments being turned in on time? Are they late? Are they missing? You know, it's a great way for you as a parent to stay involved and to try to help your students manage all the academics. Some important dates to note, we have back to school night, like Mr. C talked about with homecoming, picture day, retakes there. Again, if you have any questions, we use the calendar on the website. All of our events are listed in there, including, like Mr. Arthur spoke about, as we get into testing. 9th graders, you won't have it, but next year as 10th graders, some of you might decide you want to take the PSATs. That'll be coming up in early October, all right? So again, we use that calendar to make sure that we stay organized and everyone is aware of the different dates and the different events that are going on. All right, I'm going to turn it back over to Mr. Arthur. Thank you so much. If you have any questions, let me know.
Let's give up Mr. Bellis. Thank you so much. We're going to be wrapping things up shortly. Just a couple of quick notes. The nurse is here until 1:40, so I just want to remind you of that. And also, you know, Mr. Bellis spoke about parents allowing your scholars to advocate. I can tell you, having 4 children, my son being in high school, the last one, very difficult to step back. But we want your child to be able to leave here with skills so as they transition and move on to college, they can really advocate for themselves. So I just want to emphasize how important that is. And lastly, just regarding Uber Eats, it's something that we've talked about as an administrative team that we're looking at, and you know, something that we want to make sure does not become a distraction or an interruption to your learning. So just want to keep that in mind. So without any further ado, Dr. Keel.
So thank you all for being such a good audience. As the director of instruction, I can assure you that this type of instruction, where there's a lot of information at the start and not a lot of interaction among the students, is very rare. So we are not big fans of lecture. So I appreciate you entertaining me for 3 or 4 more minutes on my mini lecture. And in about 3 years, 10 months from now, you'll all be wearing caps and gowns. And as my job is really focused on learning, see, I'm over my time. As my job is to really focus on your learning, I really want you to think about this opportunity you have to cultivate a portfolio. In the middle school, I just met with the 6th graders and I said, you're gonna really find out who you are as a learner over these next few years. In these next few years, leading up to graduation, you're really getting an opportunity to show who you are as a learner. So to do this, you'll delve into the world of Shakespeare. You'll unlock mysteries with geometry. You'll grapple with physics, and you'll decode the intricacies of economics. You'll be creating a portfolio along the way. It's a testament to your hard work, the skills you learned, the risks you took, and the joy you found in learning. This portfolio reflects those 4 years of high school, but it also becomes something that is judged by college admissions officers, by your future careers, but really stands as this full, holistic experience. When Mr. Arthur was sharing his story, I thought about how important it is to diversify your portfolio, to really go out and try different things. And I want to assure you that the risks you take and the journeys you take in the world of academics are really rich and exciting here at Tuckahoe High School. So I'm glad that entrepreneurship was mentioned as one of our more recent innovative course offerings, because I think it kind of exemplifies some of these ideals. So entrepreneurship is a course that was developed by Ms. Pravate, and she's done an excellent job of fusing art, business, and project-based learning into this real-world course. Last year, students in this class did market research with students at Cottle. They asked, their goal was to create toys and kids' products. So they asked the kids what they liked, what types of things they were interested in. And then they spent a better part of the school year using 3D printing, graphic design software to develop products that they later launched at Cottle by sharing prototypes. And they got feedback on that. And all of this showed the ways that we can really unite as a K-12 system, but also really take advantage of the wealth of knowledge here in our community. This summer, we had teachers work on developing courses like fashion design, creative writing, and public speaking. We had teachers review our pre-calculus course to make sure it set kids up for AP learning. Our science and world language teachers reviewed assessments with the goal of figuring out how to make those assessments match the relevant instruction that you're supposed to be getting. And your teachers are so well versed in these strategies to help you build this portfolio, to help really propel your learning forward. Some of them went back to school this past summer, spending 2 weeks with an institute focused on project-based learning and innovative curriculum design. And over the year, throughout the year, we're constantly reflecting on data and discussing strategies to ensure that you're getting the best research-based instruction. I'm proud to work with professionals in this building, and I'm really excited for you to meet them. We have some tools that will help you as you cultivate this portfolio. Namely, it's the Chromebook that you'll be receiving soon. The Dell 3110 is actually, it's one of their newer models, and it's a flip screen with touchscreen capability. And you've been here, many of you are coming from the middle school. It's a reminder to, keep them safe. You're going from lots of different places. If you have any issues, bring them to the library, and also do your best to make sure that they are charged. It is hard to find a plug in this building. In terms of technology, this past summer has been very busy for us as a district. We've upgraded our wireless infrastructure to a new system that is a little bit more reliable and boasts faster speeds. We've also changed over all of our interactive displays. So some of you might be familiar with the old smartboard with the projector on the outside. Now everything in the building is a flat LCD device, which is a better view, no glare, and is much more reliable. And on top of it all, your teachers underwent different types of training experiences to learn about new software, new programs that can help them with teaching and learning. Our district is organized around this mission to prepare every student for excellence, and we do that by building our initiatives around the 4 pillars that you see here. To the families that are joining us, I want you to know that we take this responsibility very seriously. We really, really appreciate the trust you show in us when you drop your kids off or when you send them to school on the bus. And the partnership that we forge in this process is critical because you are all experts in your children. You are all experts in how they learn. So we really encourage you to really build up those relationships with your teachers and professionals. We are a learning organization, and we aspire to model that continuous improvement, that constant cycle of learning that we look to encourage in our students. So I enthusiastically welcome all of the rising ninth graders in the auditorium, and I welcome the families. It'll be a great year. Thank you.
So we're about to wrap this up with our student panel. We've been sitting for about an hour. Please stand up, stretch, do whatever you need to, shake your legs, but sitting for an hour can be a bit. Let me just quickly share your folder. In your folder, there are a few things. On the right side, you have a feedback survey. There are 2 questions, right? One question may be something along the lines, please share with us something that was a takeaway for you that we did very well. Share with us, the second question may be, so share with us something that if you had the opportunity to do something differently, what would you like for us to do, all right? Then there are 2 articles in here that are for parents, and it's from the National PTA Organization, Parents' Guide for Preparing a Student for Success, English and Math, all right? So that's in here for you. On the other side, you may receive a Blackboard Connect, informing you and including attachments of forms that you need to complete. We thought it would be best also to include in your package, so you do have that information here that's available for you. So as we begin our panel interview, who's going to start?
Hi, I'm Beatrice Lodge. I'm in 12th grade, and I'm in the National Honor Society, the Habitat for Humanity, and I'm the stage manager for the theater production.
Hi, I'm Sophia. I'm in 10th grade. I'm on the girls' cross-country, basketball, and lacrosse team.
Hi, my name is Jack Pamper. I'm going to 10th grade. I play varsity basketball and soccer.
Hi, I'm Kai Rogers. I'm in 10th grade, and I play tennis, basketball, and softball. I also do marching band, and I was a 9th grade class president.
Hi, I'm Maya. I'm going into 11th grade. I play varsity tennis. I'm in fit band, National Honor Society, and ski club.
I'm Mateo. I'm going to 12th grade, and I'm in varsity soccer, track, and I do jazz band.
Hi, I'm Gabriela Kronovic, and I'm one of the team managers for the varsity girls soccer team, and I participate in the PTA dance and Tiger Sultan Cubs.
Thank you. Let's give it up for our panel. So first question, what makes Tuckahoe High School a special community?
I feel like all the grades are pretty small, so I feel like it gives us a chance to get to know all of us better. So I feel like we just know each other, and even the teachers, the teachers are amazing here. I love all of them. Everyone knows each other.
We're more like a family than a school. Most of us know each other outside of school through sports. We spend 6 hours a day in school together, and then 2 to 3 hours after school with sports. So we're pretty close.
Thank you. Next question. Knowing what you know now, if you could travel back to your 9th grade year, what advice would you give yourself?
Just if you're overwhelmed with work, take the 0. It's not the biggest deal in the world. Just prioritize your work and do what's most important.
So you can always if you're overwhelmed, just take the 0. It's fine, but still try to push yourself to do the best you can, because grades are important. The better grades you have, the more opportunities you can get in the future.
Anyone else like to add to that? Tell us about a memorable moment you had while in school.
A memorable moment for me was winning the section in basketball. One for me was being 9th grade class president and doing fundraisers. I did the photo booth at Tuckahoe Day, and that was really memorable for me.
Thank you for that. Now, here's a big one. How do you balance your academics and other responsibilities, especially hearing how involved you are?
I would say to set specific times each day to complete your schoolwork and try your best to get it completed on time and don't wait until the last minute.
I say set your priorities straight. You're going to have a lot of interests during high school. You're going to see a lot of clubs you might want to join. You're going to have a lot of music. For me personally, I'm in like music, band, whatever, tennis, scouts, school, obviously. And you can't do everything to the top extent. So you have to set your priorities straight and then always just set time for other things.
Thank you for that. Another big question. What was the most challenging part of your 9th grade year, and how did you overcome it?
So for me, my 9th grade was all virtual due to the pandemic. So it was a lot harder, like getting used to like learning online and stuff. Like the way I got over it was I took over like organization, especially like being like online with everything. So just be grateful you're in school and you have teachers in front of you who are like willing to like help you like hands-on and just like a better way to learn.
For me, I guess the first quarter I was virtual, and then I came back like half in person, half virtual, and something I struggled with like fitting in. I don't know, but once you're in, you realize that people are a lot nicer than you think they are, and much more approachable. So I think you should just approach people. And one thing I didn't do was use like my student resources, like the counselors and everything. They're all very helpful.
Thank you for that. So what I heard you say, really use the resources that are available in the building. What advice would you give to a new student, someone who did not attend Tuckahoe Middle School?
I would say to be respectful and kind to your teachers and classmates. Try to make as many friends as possible. Don't be afraid to ask questions about anything you don't know. It's okay if you don't know, just ask.
Share the decision that you made about school, which you are most proud of.
This might be kind of odd, but I think I'm very proud of choosing difficult classes and doing, I guess, like challenging myself. I think the more that you are surrounded with people who are, you could say, better than you, or people who will challenge you, I think you'll become better, you'll learn more, and you just learn how, I learned how to balance my time a lot more and how to study more efficiently. So that's me personally.
Thank you for that. And our final question. What's your secret to getting prepared for quizzes and tests?
Don't wait until the last minute, don't procrastinate. If you're struggling with something, just do little by little, just don't wait until the last minute.
Yeah, and make sure you go to like study halls and extra helps and stuff like that, because it's helpful.
Let's give it up for our panelists. Thank you all. So to wrap things up, again, if you're new to Tuckahoe School, please stick around. We will have one of our students take you around the building to share some of our key locations that you need to know. Also, parents, as I indicated before, we're here to serve, right? We do not have a job, we do not have a job, right? So we take our jobs very seriously. So reach out to us. And scholars, as I said before, I want you to think about that. See yourself as a scholar each and every day.